Bhakti in the Gita, a Christian point of view. Parabhakti or supreme devotion. Gita Bhakti reaches its full significance only after liberation. Only one who has integrated himself can advance towards God. Bhakti is the supreme goal beyond the achievement of liberation and the realization of one's transcendent self as Brahman. In the Gita, moksha is viewed negatively and positively. Negatively, it is liberation from evil and sin, action and bond of action, death and rebirth. Positively, it is supreme perfection, the highest goal, the supreme abode, supreme happiness, peace and immortality. The Gita speaks of moksha as the abode of Brahman, as Brahma Nirvana. It is attaining Brahman and even becoming Brahman. All these expressions with Brahman do not refer to the absolute transcendent Brahman, but a state of Brahmaut. R.C. Sener explains it further. Brahman is not only the fixed, still state, which is the natural habitat of the liberated self. It is also material nature, the womb into which personal God plants his seed. The Supreme God alone is the recipient of sacrifice. He is thinking of the kingdom of time and eternity. In the Gita, Krishna is the highest transcendent personality and Supreme God. Brahmahood is subordinated to Krishna. Krishna is the base supporting Brahman. The beginningless Brahman is ruled by me. The emphasis of the Gita is on the personal aspect of Krishna rather than the impersonal Brahman. Moksha as the supreme perfection is going to the supreme divine spirit, that is going to Krishna. Mam yedi, mam eva yassa yasi yandi mam. It is a dwelling in Krishna, penetrating into his supreme abode, entering into his substance. You shall dwell in me hereafter. To me alone you shall come. True is my promise to you, for you are dear to me. And Brahmahood is the intermediary step in man's way to the personal God. It is the vision of the self as it is. This bliss is experiencing the self is Brahma Nirvana, the bliss of Brahman. Liberation is the spiritual goal for both Hindus and Buddhists. In the Gita, it is the fruit of the whole process of spiritual integration around the self. Buddhists describe it in purely negative terms. There is, they said, a state of being where there is neither earth nor water, fire or air, neither this world nor the next, nor both together, neither sun nor moon. I say there is neither coming nor going, nor standing still, neither falling nor arising. It is not based on anything, does not develop and does not depend on anything. That is the end of suffering. Nibbana is the Pali form of Nirvana. Nirvana is defined as an event, a process, transformation. Example, Asha Vanam Kyayo, or the destruction of obsessions. Bhava Nirodha, the cessation of becoming. Vimutti, or release. Thus, negative notions are preferred in Buddhism with regard to Nibbana, whereas the positive realization of self as it is the dominant of the Gita's view of Nirvana. This is the view of Dr. Vadakedala, who agrees to the vision of Ramanuja and Sena. This is the state of becoming Brahman. It is in this sense Gita speaks in 1854. Brahman become with self-serene, he grieves not, nor desires. The same to all contingent beings. He gains the highest love and loyalty to me. The concept of Nirvana, according to Advaita, is to be held distinct. For them, it ends up in Kaivalya, which is pure simplicity. In other words, the final liberation is absolute oneness and perfect identity. According to the personalist philosophy of Ramanuja, there is absolutely no perfect identity. He grades the intimacy with God in a threefold way, namely Samipya or nearness, Sarupya or similarity, and Sayujya union. Joining with Ramanuja, Maria Susai Davamani also argues that nowhere in the Gita, moksha is described as a state of absolute oneness or identity, Aikya. Aikyadmya with Bhagavan Krishna. As we have already seen, Brahmahood, the vision of the self as it is, only an intermediary state in the Bhakti Marga. For the Lord of the Gita has already revealed himself even above Nirvana. He is the Supreme Person. Wisdom is the highest goal. This personal God is to be approached by Bhakti Yoga. That is more efficient way for obtaining knowledge of the self. The search for the meaning of the self does not stop unless it finds itself founded on God. In the supreme expression of love, Parabhakti, the Atma Avalokana of the self ceases to be pure seeing of self in itself, but it further orients itself to the seeing of the self in God. The yogin who is already advanced in Bhakti Yoga practices it.